There is an organization in Southern California called Call Girls for Christ.
No, there isn't.
And we were discussing them before starting this. It's not that big, but the premise of it is, babes.
It's not even an organization.
How do you know?
Because there is nothing called that, and you wouldn't even tell me where you heard it from.
Weren't we just talking? I told you they did infomercials, babes, and I was describing their infomercials.
No, they didn't. You were just making me laugh because of all the weird stuff you created.
What did I say?
You're like,
So Alana's straddling me, and we're listening to jazz music.
I wasn't. But anyway, go on.
Oh, we're not allowed to talk about certain things. Alana was sitting next to me then, not on my lap, even though she only was.
Oh my goodness.
And we were listening to jazz music. And since she was not on my lap, I was trying to make her laugh, even though she was.
Okay, fine, I was, but I don't really want to talk about it.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah?
Did you just sin against God because you lied?
Well, okay, I admitted it, though. I decided that was true.
Okay, do you have to ask God for forgiveness or no?
I could, yes.
Oh, nice.
I could.
That's kind of a cool thing. Like, you can just, like, do your sins during the day and then repent at night. But wasn't that thing they said in the Ken Burns documentary about you do your sinning on Saturday so you have an excuse to go to church on Sunday?
That's not a good excuse.
Why not?
Well, because, I mean, that would be, they would be pretending to be something that they weren't in church. They weren't willing to admit what they were doing. And I think it would be better if they didn't do that and strive to be better people instead of sinning from Monday through Saturday and then getting religious on Sunday.
I hear you, and one could make...
Okay, Bubs, are we going to talk about the story?
Okay.
We can go on and on about this tangent and why people...
We are under a little bit of time constraints.
Oh my goodness.
So Alana was on my lap, and we were listening to jazz music, and I told her about this organization called Call Girls for Christ. Basically what it is, these church-going women who once or twice a week will become streetwalkers. And they'll try after sex to establish these relationships with men and slowly introduce them to the Bible. Then I was telling Alana about the commercials they have. And they'll say these like central things like call 1-800-JESUS right now for a good time. If you really wanted to know what happened with Adam and Eve under the apple tree. And Alana thought that was funny, even though she's not laughing right now.
No. Well, I didn't know what to think. I just thought it was absolutely ridiculous, and I didn't know what to... I just started laughing.
Yes.
And it wasn't an apple tree. We don't actually know what kind of tree it was, but it... Anyway, I could go on and on about it. But
nice.
I said, no, that's not a real organization. And he's like, how do you know? I said, because I never heard of it before.
Well, see, I'm just maybe a little bit more connected to the church world than you are.
Well, no, actually... I know that there is an organization that was started by ex-hookers, and they actually call it Hookers for Jesus, which is kind of a strange name. But they're made up of ex-hookers, so they don't hook.
Didn't the big homie hang out with hookers when he was alive? Was
Jimmy Swaggart?
No, Jesus. Wasn't Mary Magdalene?
Well, he wasn't. Well, he wasn't doing what the people were doing. He was just. I mean, she followed him, yes, but he wasn't partaking in what she was doing. There's a difference. So
was he like judging her and saying, hey, you're going to go to hell? Or was he like just like trying to be understanding of what she was doing?
No,
and provide a shoulder to cry on?
No. He wanted to take whoever would follow him. Like there were tax collectors or prostitutes, like Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, but these people have already repented of their sins, and they wanted to follow his ministry.
I know this is going to come out sounding funny because it's me asking the question, and I swear I don't mean it to sound this way. I know that the Bible, there are sections in it where you don't know everything that happened in Jesus's life. You get the broad strokes, at least that's my understanding.
Uh-huh.
But I want to know, do you think there was ever a time where he just went around telling people you're going to go to hell if you don't worship me? Like just non-believers?
I mean, there were times where he was angry, but he never, he did say some, he was angry with Israel and with the children of Israel and said, if you don't, I've given you all these chances. And, um, there were times where he did get angry with the children of Israel, yes, but he never condemned them to hell like that.
Nice.
He gave them instructions, and if they didn't follow them so many times, yes, he was angry. There were times where he was angry. There were times where he was weeping. There were times when he was happy, of course, because he felt everything. So,
Okay, another question.
Mm-hmm.
I know you told me before Jesus wasn't of this world, so Rick, please don't try to attribute worldly desires or anything like that to him. But my question is, were there any times where he could just like chill out with his crew and just like laugh at a simple joke, or would it all have to be like holier than thou?
I don't know.
But what do you think?
I don't know, Bubs.
Okay,
I can't answer that question.
that's fair.
You're asking me questions now. I get it. I know you want to know that. Okay, I get it. But you're asking me questions that I really can't answer.
Yeah, because I'm thinking too, if you could turn water into wine, and I know, again, I'm not saying this to be funny, but on a Friday night, after you and your boys have like done some work, you could just like hook them up with some alcohol and just talk story for a while.
Well, he didn't drink alcohol. I don't believe he drank alcohol because that... Remember when I explained to you what old and new wine was?
Yes, like the old wine is like grapes, but they're not so
fermented.
But they're not so fermented to where they become alcoholic.
Yes, they are. That's old wine. It's not the new wine that actually comes from the grapes itself. It's not. The old wine is already adulterated, and the new wine is unadulterated. So there's nothing.
Oh, there's no added preservatives.
No, there isn't.
Okay, because they still make fermented wine with grapes today.
Yeah, they still do, but that's old wine.
Okay, I had a roommate years ago who had just gotten out of prison. And he was
out of prison?
Yeah. And he was explaining me the fermentation process of how they would take oranges and make liquor out of them in prison.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's did you tell me about him?
I don't know if I did or not. But you're learning now. This is the same dude, babes, who told me about the 48 Laws of Power.
Mm-hmm.
Which I loved that book when I was younger, but I was also super cynical. It is still a really powerful text, though.
Mm.
Yes. But you don't think that Jesus, you don't know if he just would kick it with the crew once in a while.
He probably, I'm sure he did rest. He was, he experienced human life too.
Yeah.
He just did not commit any sins, but he experienced resting and relaxing. And he's, sometimes he would go off to pray by himself. Sometimes he would spend time and pray, but I'm sure he had times of relaxation, and maybe it wasn't the way that people relax today, but I'm sure he did. He had to have rested and relaxed.
Why do you say that Jesus didn't sin at all?
Because he was human in that he came to earth as a baby, but he isn't human because he was around before humanity started. And also, he had to live a sinless life in order to become sin for us, so that we wouldn't have to die spiritually.
So, did he know, did he have access to the Akashic records or anything? You know what I mean? Like, did he know everything that was going to happen, or what?
Well, he knew what was going to happen to him, yes.
Nice.
Yes, he did. It was prophesied in the prophecies. And he knows, it's kind of interesting to think that he, and I believe he knows every thought in everybody's mind and what's in everybody's hearts.
But even the people who came after him, did he know that, Ice Cube was going to come around one day?
I'm sure he did, Bubs.
Nice.
He like I said, he lived as a human for a while, but he was always God before. And he did not. I don't believe that he partook in anybody's sins.
Oh, I'm
What? What?
I'm fascinated with the
what?
idea. I don't know.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
What? Okay. I'm fascinated with the idea of multiple realities and, all of that stuff. I don't necessarily believe in the whole Jesus thing like you do, like at all. And an idea I've been playing with recently, babes, because I like to do that, is let's say Jesus is real. Let's have a thought exercise here, babes, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
But whoever gets into heaven or hell is just random. Like some people who believe in Jesus will go to heaven. A lot of people who do will go to hell, and same with the non-believers.
Don't, you mean?
Yeah, a lot of people who don't will go to hell, and a lot of people who do will also go to hell. And it's just sort of like randomly chosen who goes to heaven and who goes to hell. And there's no real rhyme or reason to it. That seems to me a little bit more likely. I mean, I think for real, probably nothing happens and we just go out of existence after this. But like one step below that, I could see this being it's randomly chosen who gets to go to the good place.
Well, I know that the Presbyterians believe that we are predestined. There are only a few people that are called that are a part of the elect, but that's just not true. I think that that's a fallacy in their doctrine, because that would mean that nobody would be welcome to heaven except for a few people, and that's just not true either.
So you think there's going to be a lot of folks there?
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of folks, because even though there are going to be a lot of people turning against God, there will be a lot of people that will turn to God and will go to heaven, just as much as there's going to be a lot of people that will reject God all their lives and go to hell.
Oh.
Now, as far as the unreached people and the least reached people, because I've been hearing about this. I've been hearing about Christians in other countries that have been persecuted, Christians in other countries that have started churches or had services because they were pastors. And you've asked that question several times. I think that there are more people that are going to unreached places that you probably wouldn't think of, like, I don't know the list of. I wish I knew the list of countries that were I know Turkey. It's very hard to be a Christian there, and Iran and Iraq, all the Middle Eastern countries.
Right, but we're still discovering tribes, or at least as recently as a couple years ago, that we believe have been uncontacted by the outside world for tens of thousands of years.
Well, that doesn't mean that nobody has had contact with them. I mean, I can't. I think that there are people that are discovering these people every day, and they're discovering new languages that they'd never even heard of.
I think that there's some truth to that, but I would make the counter argument. Let's say we discovered a tribe today, but they were uncontacted for 10,000 years. So somebody who was in the tribe just like 50 years ago and has already died, they didn't get to believe in Jesus because they were never exposed to the idea. So what happens to them?
I don't know. I mean.
See, if you're really,
but I think that is, you could worry about that until you're blue in the face. But I really do think that there are efforts from people that are actually looking for these remote places.
I hear you,
but to say that, I just think that and I can't give you all the answers. I really can't. It's hard to say, because I don't know how many unreached people are in the world, or unreached countries. I don't know. I can't really give you a full-fledged answer.
Right, but what I'm saying is, to those people who Christians are trying to proselytize to, they're going to care if their relatives who died are going to go to heaven, if they see them as good people, but who just didn't believe in Christ because they didn't know any better. And I kind of think if you believe in a loving, all-intelligent God, maybe be a little bit loose and believe in one that maybe judges people on a sliding scale. So, okay.
But hold on a second, though. That's not how God works.
Right. But God also made these people undiscovered tens of thousands of years. So maybe he says, in this particular case, yes, these people didn't believe in Jesus, but it isn't like they had the access to the information. So maybe we make an exception for them.
No, there is no exception. And also, by the time Jesus comes, we don't know when that is. It could be tonight. It could be tomorrow. There are going to be people. There are going to be people all over the world that are going to know, and it's hard to say because we are Westerners, right? What do we know? We're Westerners. We come from another part of the world. We don't know what the world is like in other countries that would be considered maybe unreached.
Mm-hmm.
We can't really say that, but as far as people being loose about it, that's not something you could be loose about. And I also think that there are people that are searching, and I do believe that most people really do want there to be an afterlife.
I want there to be an afterlife. I'm just telling you, I don't know if there is. And if there is an afterlife, I don't necessarily know if that means that it's a good afterlife or a bad one. And who knows if your actions even determine that. So let's say what happens if we go there and we find out Hitler's chilling in heaven, but somebody I don't know, Mother Teresa, even though I've heard she had her issues too, is down in the bad place. Bad place. Yeah. You know what I mean.
Well, that's something that I don't think we can really comprehend as humans as much as we can try.
Let me ask you this.
Can we move on?
We're about to, because we do have other things to discuss, and we wanted to make this one fast, babes.
I know, you're the one who likes to go on tangents.
But I have questions.
I know.
And you claim to have some answers.
Well, I'm not. I don't claim to have all.
I'm kind of joking with you, babes, because you just said you don't. What the Hey, you just hit me.
Oh.
Hey, you could have killed me just now, and then
it was a pillow, Bubs. I was just playfully doing it.
Oh my god!
Did it hurt?
Yeah.
It did?
Yeah, kiss me.
Did it really hurt?
Yeah, I'm broken boy now.
Your head still works. Just as hard as ever.
Oh my goodness. You tapped me on my head.
I know. I'm just playing around, Bubs.
That's okay. You don't have to play with violence, babes. But, I mean, you're a Christian, so what else?
Bubs.
What's up?
It wasn't even violent. I just hit you with a pillow. Yeah, it wasn't hard enough, was it?
No, I mean, it did feel a little bit.
I'm just being playful, Bubs. You know me. I'm not trying to hurt you.
Oh, that's what they all say.
Bubs.
I love you, babes. No, I'm joking around, babes.
Boy.
Oh, yeah, okay, so
yeah.
To wrap up for now, because we're always going to come back to this in some form or another, you die, go to heaven, and find out that there are people there from uncontacted tribes. Will you feel like you were lied to on Earth?
I don't know. I can't answer questions that I don't even know about.
But I'm giving you a scenario.
I don't know. Okay. I can't answer that because I would have to die first.
Yeah, I think Christians have some strict thoughts on things that maybe it would help them if they loosened up a bit.
I think that you also have a very distorted of what Christianity is. And I think it would be imperative to you if you dug a little bit deeper than looking at it on a surface level.
That's what we as Americans do, babes. And another reason I find it hard to believe in God is I don't know how many of our fellow Americans, maybe even including some people in this bedroom, believe in reality. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like people make up their own world to a large extent. And they try to use the image they wanted themselves to feed their narrative of the outside world. So, if I want to be a victim, I'll be more inclined to tell you stories of when somebody did me wrong, but I won't talk about what I may have done to contribute to that.
Well, here's what I think about that really quick.
Go ahead.
Well, there are people that don't want to face reality, but there are people that are willing to own up to their responsibility. And to say that people don't, people, for example, like to categorize Americans and say that we all are victims is just not right.
Well, that was an example, but I think it's all okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it's a difference between people staying in that victimhood mentality, and people decide to do that. They make their own choices, or people willing to step up to the plate and say, "Hey, I did really, really wrong, and I need to own up to it."
I think that's a minority in this country.
I don't think it is. I think that you let's use you for an example.
Go ahead.
Really quick.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this is true or not, but maybe it might seem like it is. I don't know, to some people, I guess. You have the opinion that all maybe not all Americans, but a lot of Americans are selfish people.
Yes.
And in some ways you could be right, because we have the comforts of what America has to offer. We don't know what it's like to live in a country that does not allow, women and children to have rights. And it's under a it's under a monarchy, right? It's very male oriented, like really, really, really male oriented.
You mean like the male hierarchy?
Yes, male hierarchy. Thank you. The male hierarchy, which is, here in the U.S., women and men are competing against each other.
Yes, but it's still slanted to males in this country. It's not as bad as it used to be, and it's not like it is in some parts of the world, but there is still like a pro-male slant.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Yeah, but okay. Well, we can go on about that until the cows come home. Moo.
Oh my.
Until the cows come home. But, well, for example, right? You may say, a lot of Americans are selfish, and in some ways we are, but there are some Americans that are willing to think outside of that, because they have spent a lot of time in other countries. Like, I've met a few missionary families in college, or missionary kids in college, and their sense of American culture is a little bit skewed because they were in different countries for years. They knew English because their parents knew English, but they learned other languages, and they learned the customs, and they learned traditions of that country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, what is that? What did you do?
I just touched your head. Keep going.
Okay. So, yeah, we don't realize how good we have it in some ways. Like, if somebody's air conditioner breaks down, they have a meltdown, right? Or if their Amazon package didn't get there right away, they have a meltdown.
True.
So I think there are people that take for granted the comforts of home. But they don't even bother to think that there is somebody starving in Turkey that doesn't have running water, or can't practice their faith because they would be executed. And yes, there is some truth to that.
But I don't know if you're disproving anything that I've said, though, because you're saying we don't realize the comforts we have. Well, I agree with you, and I also agree with you that there are people. And Erdogan, I believe, is still in charge of Turkey. From what I've heard, is a pretty bad dude.
Yeah, he is.
Right. But I don't see how that contradicts with anything I've said about people like to live in their own realities.
Well, okay. What I was trying to say before you interrupted me.
Oh my goodness.
Is that I don't know that every single people in our American society is like that. There are some people that want to know the truth about things, just like you said. There are there are people that don't want to know the truth, at all. And there are other people that are willing to lie, like George Santos, for example.
Only 2 new lies this week, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get into that in about a minute.
Yep.
There are people that are playing this game of how many lies I can lie about, and doesn't want to face his own reality. I totally get that. But I don't think that everybody in our society where we live is wants to be like that. There are people that actually want to say something that could be considered controversial, without feeling like they need to censor themselves.
So I might not have expressed it right. I do believe that there are some people who still believe in truth, but that's the vast minority. I think the category that most people go into is they'll tell you they're a truth seeker, and what they really mean is they look for things that prove the bias that they already have.
I don't know if that's true either, because you're assuming that everybody's a liar, and
I'm assuming that most people are.
You're assuming that most people are liars, most people are biased. I don't believe that's true. I think that there is truth to things, and you have to look for it if you really want to know that. I don't think that everybody lies. That's a very cynical way of thinking.
Well, but hold on, I can flip it on you. You're a Christian, the last time I checked. And you believe that everybody's a sinner. Isn't that kind of cynical to believe?
I'm a sinner too.
Oh, I know you are. Ow! Ow, that really hurt me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ouch.
Oh.
That's why I don't want you to touch my throat.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I did not mean that.
Mm.
I'm just being playful. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness, be less playful. But you know what I mean, though. It's like, it's cynical to say that everybody's a sinner, but why is that a cynical thing? But me saying everybody's a liar, or most people are.
No, I never said that. I believe that we're all sinners, but a lie is a sin.
Right, okay, that's fair enough. But what I would say is I've known so many people, and again, you could say that this is my own confirmation bias, right? Or this is my own bubble. But I've known so many people who they'll talk about how they want the truth, and then they just look at stuff that already confirms what they already believe, right? So they won't look at evidence that contradicts them, their beliefs. They'll look for things that proves what they want to believe. So they're not really looking for the truth. They're looking to prove the truth coincides with what they want it to be. And I think that's the vast majority of Americans. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's only the people I've met, or maybe it's more than that, but it's still a small percentage of our overall population. But I'm just telling you what I've noticed.
Well, all I can say about that, it really all depends on what you think truth is. I think that's what that's what it stems from.
What do you mean?
If you're the kind of person that believes that we have our own truth and that there is no absolute truth, then you're going to see the world that way.
Right, but most people don't believe. There are some people who fall into that category, but most people have a belief, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Christianity, right? So you could have somebody who's Muslim, or you could have somebody who, and it can go past religion, right? So, like, let's say there's somebody who wants to vote for a politician, and let's just say it's George Santos for whatever reason.
Okay.
Let's just say that there's somebody out there who's a George Santos fan, and they just don't believe any of the stuff that's being said in the media about George Santos. So maybe early on they could dismiss it because, it's coming from the New York Times and they have a liberal bias. And then, Fox News starts reporting on them. But, Marjorie Taylor Greene is still on his side, which I believe is still the case.
No, she isn't.
Oh, she switched finally. No,
there's a bunch of people on the conservative side that have completely left his camp.
Okay, well, up until recently, she was on his side. And so maybe you say, well, at least Marjorie Taylor Greene is still there. And then when you hear that she's abandoned him, you could say, well, she's no longer MAGA anymore. But then you start.
But George Santos was never.
Okay, I'm trying to give you. I'm trying to feel. Okay. But then you start seeing things like Owen is taking shots at him, and then maybe you say to yourself, well, Owen is secretly funded by George Soros, and but nobody else is talking about that. By the way, I don't know if that's the case. I'm making up
They
a
are
lie.
not funded by George Soros.
Oh, good. And now this week you see Newsmax is finally taking shots at him. But yet you're still in that George Santos mindset for whatever reason. and I'm sure there are people like that out there, because they want to believe what they want to believe, and they don't care what the proof is.
No, I understand that, and it can be very frustrating.
Yeah, and George Santos is obviously just an example. You can replace him with whoever you want to.
No, I get that. And even though you point the truth out to them, or to point out what the facts are, they still wouldn't change.
Yeah,
and I get that. I've dealt with people that were like that. You could tell them that the Earth is round, and they'll always believe that it's square.
exactly. They're flat earthers now.
Yeah, they're flat earthers, but yeah, I mean, and that's a simple example, but that's true. But to say that everybody has a bias, I just don't believe that. I don't believe it.
I'm shocked.
I don't. And in some ways, yes, it does depend on how people see the world. They could have a secular or Christian worldview. They could have a very distorted worldview that Jim Jones and Fred Phelps had, because Fred Phelps is really messed up.
Yes, he was.
And people that were like very anti-government and wanting to get rid of as many government officials as possible, which is really crazy to me. It's like you're right. I mean, it's a complicated thing. By the way, what are George Santos's lies? If we can move on here.
Oh yeah, he was on Newsmax earlier this week. It might have been yesterday. And I don't know who the hosts are, so I don't know this person's name. I'm sure they're probably like, the Sean Hannity of that world, or whoever it is.
I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, we know Sean Hannity's a liar now, so the liar Sean Hannity. But
and a whine or two.
Yes. So George Santos was on Newsmax this week. He was asked about, your campaign and had all this money. Where did it come from? And George Santos said that he's been consulting with rich people, and I'm paraphrasing, but since 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in 2001, George Santos apparently was 13. At least that's what John Idarola said on the Damage Report this morning. And I was listening to that as I was getting ready to come and meet you. So
that is really funny.
I guess you could technically say, I don't know for sure that that's a lie. Well, it doesn't seem that truthful to me. So there's.
I didn't realize he was only. I didn't realize that he was 35.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
I guess so.
Wow.
So there's that thing. There's also the thing to where I hope I'm getting this right. And if I'm not, we can definitely check it out. He bought some dogs from these Amish people in Pennsylvania with a checkbook that he said was stolen. So that he canceled the check afterwards. And we know this because somebody who was a friend of his at the time came forward and said that, she had looked into this and that at the time she thought it was for real. And now she thinks that he lied about somebody stealing his checkbook in 2017 and he bought these dogs and didn't pay for them.
I think he needs to declare bankruptcy or something.
So there's the other thing too. I can't remember if it was this week or last week. I want to say it was last week, because I think there was only 2 new lies this week that we know of. But some staffer of his said that George Santos made inappropriate sexual comments. Mm-hmm. George Santos, of course, said that wasn't true. But this guy was like an undercover reporter and has like recordings of it that he's given to people. Mm-hmm. So, those are like the latest George Santos things.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. What, Jeff?
Yes. I'm glad that Marge has finally turned on him.
I think if she hasn't already, then she really needs to look at everything.
Yeah.
Because
good. She was critical of your girl, Tulsi Gabbard, when Tulsi... I don't like Tulsi Gabbard, but I do like that she confronted him on Fox News.
Yeah, I'm glad that she did.
Yeah.
And it's Gabbard with an S.
Gabbard.
I mean, Gabbard without an S.
Yeah, she's a bad faith actor too, but at least she's willing to call out George Santos.
Yeah, he's just... he needs to resign, and I think it's possible that he needs to, maybe he needs to declare bankruptcy.
Maybe.
Because people had to start over by declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I'm glad.
I don't know, but he needs to be brought to justice. Honestly.
I like that people are pretty much in favor of shitting on George Santos, metaphorically speaking. Jaylo.
Oh, that would be funny if somebody did poop on him.
Poopy
head.
That's my favorite kind of heel above.
What?
That's my favorite kind of heel above.
I never said that.
Okay, good. What did you think of what Mitt Romney did this week?
Well, I didn't hear it. You told me about it. I mean, I don't like the guy. I think he's well, there's so many things I could call him.
No, I agree with you. I'm not a fan of his.
I think he's I think he's been in the establishment for too long. Him and his niece, but at least I'll give him credit for calling out George Santos.
Yes,
because yeah, he should not be in politics. He's just lied too many times.
Yes. Okay, I got a political question for you.
No.
Oh, real quick, babes.
Why?
I guess it's a couple questions, but
okay.
You said that you weren't really that into politics when Obama first got elected in 2008.
I was just learning about it.
Right, but I'm wondering,
yeah,
what did you think of Mitt Romney in 2012? Because the Republicans were pretty much all in favor of him.
I didn't really know much about this guy, so I didn't really have an opinion on him.
Okay.
I really didn't. I didn't know much about Mitt Romney. I just thought he had a weird name. And
yeah, I'm not a Mitt Romney fan. I don't think he's as evil as some people say he is. But for real, he's still a politician. So
I do not.
There is a touch of evil.
And I certainly don't like his niece, Ronna Romney McDaniel. I think she's just as what's the word I'm looking for? She's just as conniving as her uncle.
I don't know enough about this lady.
Well, you don't need to know. She's an establishment chairwoman that was still voted in by other establishment voters, and I don't like that she is doing that. And the establishment Republicans are complaining about big spending, but Ronna McDaniel has been doing a lot of that. And the real conservatives that are not for that are getting very angry because the establishment Republicans have been taking the money that was donated and spending it on pleasure stuff.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
And we got to keep it real when we talk about spending, where we want to make cuts from. Because it shouldn't be from social programs, but maybe we give a little bit less money to the military. And that doesn't mean, just like gutting our military. It just means we don't have to spend so much on it, right? There could be some oversight there. There could be, we could look at, okay, so if Nancy Pelosi is going to be allowed to manipulate the stock market, maybe she shouldn't have a salary, right? She's making all these money off stock trades anyways. And not just her, like Nancy Pelosi's an easy person to pick on, but they all pretty much do it. Although I don't know if Bernie owns any stock, but you know what I mean. He might. But there's ways we could cut spending in this country without having to hurt the poor or working class people. But whenever it's talked about in the media, it's usually, at least in the mainstream, they phrase it as, how can we pay for kids to have school lunch? And they never phrase it as, well, how can we pay for us to go to war with this other country, right? When really, it's like, if you're going to cut from anything, why not cut from the wars and give free lunches to kids? I don't know. I don't know if that rant made any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Sometimes I listen back to these babes, and I'm like, I don't know if I made my point that well.
It kind of went over my head, but at least you tried.
At least I tried.
Yeah, I can't blame you for that one.
Thank you there. Oh, excuse me. Jay, whoa.
Are you okay?
I burped.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Biden gave his State of the Union this week, and he tripped over his words, much like I do, so I'm not going to give him too much guff about that.
Well, there's one thing I heard that I was very surprised about, which I heard that Jill Biden and Doug Harris, who's Kamala's husband, apparently had a passionate smooch.
I don't know about that. I heard this from you. It's possible they did.
Which I thought, oh, that's interesting. Trying to spice up the State of the Union address that was blah from the first word. So I don't know. I don't like this woman, Jill. I don't like her. I don't like them together, period.
I really don't like Joe Biden.
Me neither.
I think he seems likable on camera, right?
Yeah,
And
when he's falling all over himself.
no,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. He doesn't come across as evil, but if you look at the things he's done, so I really liked that he forced Obama to come out in favor of gay marriage. Because for real, if it wasn't for Joe Biden, we still might not know if Obama was in favor of gay marriage.
He's flipped on that too, Joe Biden. He used to be for one man and one woman, and he's flipped on that.
When did he flip on it though?
I believe he came out and said I might have been in the 70s that marriage was just for one man and one woman. He also came out against abortion, as you know.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden he's for it, and he's for transgendered so-called care surgeries or whatever, and he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, I'm super lib. I think that people should always be in favor of gay rights and transgender rights. Having said that, Joe Biden did grow up in a different time in this country. So if he came out against gay marriage in 1976, but then in like 1987 said, I've rethought gay marriage and I was wrong earlier, of course it should be okay. Then maybe there's some room for forgiveness there, right? And it's also possible that Joe Biden may not have known anybody who was gay, until the 80s. So I have to research him flipping on gay marriage.
But he also hasn't been very nice to women, and what he said about women, and he said some, obviously we know he said some pretty racist things in the past.
Well, I know that he's done racist things.
Yeah, I mean, he supported Robert Byrd, who shouldn't have been in the Senate.
Well, there's more than that. There's also not thinking that black kids should have the same right to education as white kids.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't phrased like that, but if you really look at some of his votes, you can tell what it was. There's also, by some reports, Joe Biden didn't think that the war on drugs went far enough, and he was supposedly mad that Ronald Reagan, as extremely over-the-top neocon as he wasn't strong enough on drugs.
That's hilarious.
Have you done any research into the Reagan thing?
No, I need to do that, but go on, Bubs.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, I don't like Joe Biden, and I think that he's an evil guy. Having said that, he does come off as a nice guy on camera.
Yeah. Well, he's nice when they make him nice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's an angry, bumbling idiot, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like one of the things I don't like is, I think it was great that he cleared the record of the people who were in jail for marijuana charges. But considering what's going on with his son, I wish he would go a little bit further and just like decriminalize everything. And I get it, you're the president, you're not the king, but you could set a tone in this country by coming out and saying, let's decriminalize all drugs. And you could make marijuana a Schedule 5 drug, I believe, right? So there are things he could do.
He's not going to do it. I don't have faith in him.
Oh.
I never had faith in him since he moved into the White House.
But you were going to hate anybody with a D in front of their name.
Well, there are some Democrats. I mean, there are few and far between Democrats that I believe that are actually doing work on behalf of the people. And a lot of Democrats just want to get votes, and they want to get every single minority under their thumb by promising them things, free this, free that, all that stuff, but never giving, never ever living up to their promises. And a lot of Republicans have done that too. Not every Republican has, but the establishment definitely has.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna let the establishment Republicans or Democrats off the hook, but I'm searching with a fine-tooth comb, as they would say.
I do think, babes, that the problem in this country isn't welfare for regular folks, it's corporate welfare. We shouldn't be giving all these big kickbacks to large corporations. Jeff Bezos should pay some taxes.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
I would agree.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be resting on their laurels when a lot of people need money.
It's crazy that the richest man in the world, and yes, he wasn't the sole reason, but who is a contributing factor to the decline of bookstores and all the jobs they provided and so many other industries, and again, is the richest man in the world, doesn't have to pay taxes in this country. And yet we have discussions on TV about we can't help little kids because we don't know where the money would come from. Take some out of this dude's pocket.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
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 If he was, if he had enough money to spend time in space for about 10 to 15 minutes.
And he might be going back there.
Really?
I've heard rumors about that. I don't know if it's true.
He's only there for about 15 minutes, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And he had a custom-built yacht that I believe cost $450 million.
Yeah, that's money that was not spent very well.
Okay, so I've heard this figure, and it might be a little bit exaggerated because you know how the media does. Mm-hmm. But this was around the time that the pandemic started. I heard that Jeff Bezos makes something like $250 million each day. That's insane. Mm-hmm. That's insane, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we can't tax him because it wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, well, he's not treating a lot of people fairly.
No, and here's the thing.
Mm-hmm. But life also isn't fair either.
Right. Exactly. So politicians came out and said, listen, if you're poor in this country, we don't like you. And we serve our corporate overlords like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. I wouldn't like it, but I would at least appreciate the fact that they're being honest. But the way they word stuff in the media is just such disingenuous bullshit that it really upsets me.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're getting worked up there.
I'm getting worked up there, Jay. Well,
let's move on.
Real quick, babes. You know that I don't like a lot of the statements that Donald Trump makes. Having just said that, something that Joe Biden often repeats that I think is more cringeworthy than anything I've ever heard Trump say is when he talks about his friends, the Republicans. Right? Mm. And I know that you're more conservative than I am, but let me give you an example that maybe...
Oh, Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, like Mitch McConnell. He'll talk all day about how much he loves Mitch McConnell. And we need to work with Republicans. And Republicans made sure that this great thing happened.
Yeah, but he's also blasted Republicans too.
Yeah, but more often than not, when you hear Joe Biden and the word Republican come out of his mouth, he's about to say something in praise. My question to you... Let me give you an alternative example. Let's say, God forbid, in a couple of years, Donald Trump becomes the president again.
Wonderful. I know you don't like that, but,
yeah,
something's going to change and it won't be Biden. I'm sure of that.
I doubt Biden will be our president in a couple of years.
No, I know that people are holding on to hope, but I think he's a lost cause at this point.
I just want somebody who's like super lib to get in there. So let's get Jamal Bowman. I don't know if he's old enough to run though.
Most Americans don't want a liberal president. At least not that kind of a liberal president.
Well, because most Americans haven't been fed the truth about liberal politics. That's why.
I think you're wrong about that. And we don't like the truth about liberal politics.
You just said you don't like the truth.
No. I think I should reword that. Yes, Bubs.
Tickle truth? Give me a kiss. Or there's no tickle truth.
Okay.
All right, give me a kiss.
Let's move on, shall we?
So here's my quick question.
No.
Real quick, babes. Let's say, because you know how I feel about when Joe Biden brings up Republicans, 95% of the time it's talking about how great they are. And I hate when he says that. So let's say Trump becomes president again, and every other speech he makes, he says something like, my good friend Bernie Sanders, or I love Democrats because they're doing the right thing on this issue, or can't we talk about the good Democrats out there? Or in the State of the Union, he says, Obama did this thing that I really love. Or Jimmy Carter was so great on this issue. That would drive you crazy too.
Of course it would, but he's never said that.
No, but I was trying to give you an example of why the Joe Biden thing drives me so crazy.
But didn't you hear clips of him blaming MAGA Republicans for everything? That drives me even more crazy because he doesn't even know that group.
I don't know if he does or doesn't know that group.
Yes, he does. That's a lot of what he says is, well, it's the MAGA people's fault, and they should be blamed for everything. And he blames MAGA people for, I'm sure he blames MAGA Republicans for inflation when... You know, I mean, he'll blame MAGA Republicans for everything, and that really gets on my nerves.
I don't think that MAGA Republicans deserve blame for everything, but there is a little bit of truth.
But that's what he said.
Okay,
and...
well, I didn't hear it, but I'm telling you.
Ow.
Okay, to act like if somebody's MAGA, they're automatically a good person.
I'm not saying that everybody is. I'm just saying as a whole.
I did hear the clip when he was giving praise to George W. Bush, though.
Oh, okay.
For some AIDS program he started. Although, then they were saying on TYT, Jake, who really hates George W. Bush, I don't know if he hates him as much as I do, but he hates him. He's like, that actually is the one good thing that George W. did. So I got to research that. But
what was the AIDS program? Because I wasn't...
I don't know too much about it, but apparently George W. Bush started some AIDS program in Africa to decrease the spreading of it. I have a hard time thinking that George W. Bush did anything good. So I'm the wrong person to ask about it.
Okay, I won't ask you anymore. Okay, let's move on. Because we beat this topic like a dead horse.
Okay.
For a minute here.
Okay, babes.
And we're on time constraints.
Okay, honey.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, honey. I love you, honey. I went to a performance the other day.
And I could not because I was in class, and that's too bad. And it was a performance by a group that we both saw, but I wasn't able to meet the band.
The Lone Bellow.
Yeah.
They came to Portland. We officially shut down the following week, but in actuality, we really shut down on a Friday. It just wasn't like a legal thing. It was more like a request. Mm-hmm. And they came to town like the Monday before that Friday. No, it might have been Tuesday. It was like a couple of days before we really shut down. It would have had to been on Tuesday, babes, because that Monday we went to the park. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Tuesday of that week, we saw the Lone Bellow. And by Thursday night, it was looking like Portland shutting down. Mm-hmm. It was a very weird time. They didn't meet with people then, but this time when they came back to town, there was a meet and greet. Mm-hmm. And so I got to shake hands with Zach, who's like the leader of the Lone Bellow, meet his crew. So I hung out with the homies for a minute, took a photo op, and then I was out.
The homies?
Yeah. It was fun.
It sounds like a fun podcast, hanging out with the homies.
Rolling with the homies.
R.I.P. Brittany.
R.I.P. Brittany and Coolio.
Yeah, Brittany Murphy and Coolio. I still can't believe Coolio died.
I know.
This last year.
That's crazy to me.
That is crazy. I know. And we never even heard what was going on with him for the last few years.
I don't know for sure, but it said in some news report that he suffered from asthma his entire life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but Coolio, we love you, bro.
Yeah.
When I go to this place, Bloodworks Live, they had donuts, and, I'm thinking to myself, I'm a blind guy. I'm not going to get donuts.
And you did.
I did.
Were they good?
Oh, they were pretty good.
Oh, good. I love a good glazed donut once in a while and a chocolate one.
Yeah, I sat down.
Mm-hmm. Did you get anything to drink?
No, I just wrapped some donuts.
Okay.
And this old dude sat down next to me. We start talking. He had a pretty interesting life. He was telling me about how he moved to Portland in the late 60s, around the time that Kink FM was starting, and they were sponsoring the event this week. Uh-huh. And also KBOO was coming about around that time. We were talking about, vinyl and life in general, and it was just a really cool conversation. And it didn't go on too long, but it went on just long enough. Then the music started. They were, talking to the crowd as they usually do in that setting. And apparently this new album by the Lone Bellow was recorded in the house that Roy Orbison owned.
Wow.
And it was the one that he rebuilt after his son burnt down the original house.
He said that after because you said that the son burnt it down, but it was an accident.
That's what I read in Johnny Cash's book.
And that Roy Orbison would not forgive his son.
Again, according to Johnny Cash's book, that's what happened.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And so they turned the area where the first house was into an orchard, but this house was like right next door to that.
Wow.
Apparently. Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
Was this in Tennessee? I think it was.
I think so.
I think Roy Orbison might have been from Tennessee.
I could be wrong with that, but that sounds right. Because they said somewhere during the show that they were living in Brooklyn and they moved to Tennessee because they were like looking at a map and seeing all the places where they could perform and still get home in time to take their kids to school in the morning from Tennessee.
Okay.
So it might have been LA. They might have recorded in LA and they could be living in Tennessee, but they're connected to Tennessee in some way.
Okay.
Yeah. It was really fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You should have been there, but you've already seen them before.
I know, but it would have been great to meet them. No.
Well, I got you.
I know, but I wasn't there.
I know. I invited you.
But I couldn't go.
Okay.
I had class and it was an important one.
Okay, next time, honey.
Oh.
Next time, honey.
Okay, Bubby.
Next time, honey. Believe me, there's been a lot of great shows that I didn't get to go to. By the way, speaking of shows,
yes,
we are going to go see Lady Smith and Black Mambazo
Woo-hoo!
on March 10th of this year, barring any big disasters.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, because you, I'm so glad you got your card.
I know.
I'm very thankful for that.
I was really pissed that my bank account was basically hacked last week.
And it got there at the right time too.
Yeah, we caught it early, but I didn't get my replacement card until last night.
Yeah, but I'm happy you did.
I am too.
And we're going to go see Dust Bowl Revival
I still got to get those
eventually
tickets.
On my birthday, which is going to be such a fun way to close it out.
Assuming that they're still live and that there are tickets and all that good stuff. You know what happened, babes?
What's that?
I saw that Rage Against the Machine was coming to town.
Yeah. So
I go to check out tickets. Apparently they canceled those dates.
Oh, wow.
So I'm wondering if the band had yet another breakup.
I'm not really a fan of theirs though.
I hear you. There's the Zach from the Lone Bellow.
Yeah.
But Zach is at La Rocha, who sings for Rage Against the Machine. His voice always sounded a little bit off to me.
La Rocha?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh.
I never really dug his vocals, to be honest, but I dig their message.
That's his name, La Rocha?
I that's what I said, babe. I think that's what it is.
Wasn't there an artist named Papa Roach?
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
I had an ex-girlfriend whose sister saw Papa Roach back in 99.
Wow.
Yep.
Did she like the concert?
I don't think I asked her. I was just trying to get with the sister babes. So I could teach her about Jesus and...
No, but you're mocking boy again.
No.
Yes,
you're mocking girl.
No, you're mocking boy.
You're mocking girl.
No, you mocking boy. No, you mocking boy.
Well, I love you, babes.
I love you too.
I love my mocking Jaylo. We started this super late, but real quick, because it's a little bit past 7.
Is it? Oh my goodness.
And we're just about at an hour. We do want to wrap this up somewhat soon so I can show you Forbidden Planets.
And I have to clean up too.
Yep. Okay. There is a Motown exhibit in town.
Yep.
In Portland.
So excited.
And, a week or so ago, I maybe even longer now, I reached out to the Oregon Historical Society. Mm-hmm. I think it is who's having the event. They got back to me this week and basically said, sorry about the delay. We don't have a docent, which, in case you don't know, is basically like a guide that blind people can use so they can experience the exhibit. But Alana's been asking around, and it looks like we might get a group of blind folks and a untrained docent to come with us.
Docent.
A docent. Okay.
It's a docent.
Okay, I thought it was docents.
No, docent.
Okay. To come with us so that we can experience the event in a couple weeks.
Yeah. There were 2 people that expressed interest.
That's really cool.
And they one is married and one has a girlfriend, and both my friend's wife and my other friend's girlfriend are both sighted, and they said that they could probably help. One of them.
Nice.
But I'm also going to ask another teacher of mine, and she might want to go.
Oh, good. The more the merrier, I say.
Yeah, I think she would really enjoy it if she wants to, because I put it out there, and I think it would be awesome.
Are we allowed to talk about the disturbing thing you learned about one of your teachers this week?
Yeah.
Without saying names.
She's not going to watch it, I don't think. I didn't tell her about it. Well, so she was telling me about a concert she saw the other week on a Saturday night. She saw the symphony, and she said she really enjoyed it, and she was at the Schnitz, aka the Arlene Schnitzer Hall.
The place is super pricey. It's a cool place to see stuff, though.
How are the acoustics?
They seem good to me, but I'm not really one of those people who's that much of an audiophile. If it sounds halfway decent to me, it's good enough. But I liked it. That's where I saw, I believe, I saw Robin Williams there in 2002, if I'm remembering right. But I also saw Pirates of the Caribbean there with the Oregon Symphony.
I would have. I'm really surprised that I wasn't able to go.
That was really cool. But anyways, getting back to this thing.
Anywho, so I proceeded to tell her after she told me her story. I said, well, I really wanted to go to this concert, but I had to go to a memorial, and it was on Valentine's Day, and it was, and Smokey Robinson was going to perform with the Oregon Symphony, and she replied by saying, I'm not familiar with that name. I don't know who that is. Smokey Robinson? You've never heard of Smokey Robinson? And we kind of laughed about it. She's like, oh yeah, it's like I must be living under a rock. And I was like, I cannot believe it.
Yeah.
And granted, I'll just say this woman is a very, very nice lady.
But she's white. Is she white?
I don't know, Bubs. You can see her.
She seemed white to me. Keep going.
She's light skinned, white person. Anyway, let's take her skin color out of this, okay? She was born in the same generation that Motown Records started. The same generation that my parents were in, except my parents were born in the late 50s. And they knew about Motown Records even though they grew up in another country. And you said that it transcended generations and continents.
The Beatles cited Motown as an influence.
Yes, they did.
Right.
Yes, they did.
So, what does that tell you?
Yeah, I know. Paul McCartney did a couple of duets with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And
but they've said that they were heavily influenced by Motown.
Yes, they were.
And I believe this one I'm a little bit less sure of, but I'm pretty sure it's the truth that the Rolling Stones also said similar stuff.
Yeah. The British stars really wanted to emulate American music, and
Motown was a big part of it.
Yes, it was. You can hear it in "Oh Darling."
Yep.
Yeah, great song. But I was just very surprised, and I'm hoping that the reason why she never heard that name is because she doesn't know. She never heard the music, or maybe she heard the music but didn't know who sang it. I'm hoping that's that. Not that she really doesn't know who Smokey Robinson is.
Okay, I would buy that if it was somebody who was younger than us.
Yeah.
Like, you have a friend who's around 20.
He'll be 20.
Okay, you know what I mean, though? Yeah. But if she was around 20, I could see that maybe.
I would too, yeah.
But since she was born and raised in America, around the time that Motown was coming to prominence, I think that that's highly unlikely. And she probably doesn't know anybody from Motown.
I'm like, I still couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
At least my friend who was younger was familiar with the Temptations because he has heard of them.
Oh.
Yes. So I'll give him credit for that. But she did not know, and I'm like, I didn't want to probe any further because I was like, okay, we're in the middle of a class and I don't want to do it.
And I don't want to be like really disturbed by what
I didn't want to come off as being very embarrassed for her.
She thought, but put it to you this way. She probably thinks that Marvin Gaye is a gay rights advocate.
I don't know about that. I think
That joke did not land well.
No, I don't think. I think it's a little too far.
Oh, well, good. Well, I love you, babes.
Oh my goodness.
But there are some people out there who I don't know what to say.
I'll say this kindly. I don't, and I'm not really pointing to her in saying this, but there are some Americans that are just not as cultured.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
But she did go to the symphony. You know what I mean?
She did go to the symphony, and that is a part of our culture. But when it comes to Motown music, which we're both very, very big fans of, sure. I just cannot believe that she wouldn't know. Well, I also think too that a friend of mine did not know who Phil Spector was.
I'm not allowed to say who that girl.
No, produced by the the White Album, the Beatles.
Not the White Album.
The White Album.
He was the co-producer on, I believe, what was their last album? It wasn't Abbey Road. It was the one after that. Let It Be.
Let It Be.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he produced a lot of their solo stuff too.
Yes, he did. And she didn't know who that was.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
But we don't need to talk about that person because we have before.
Yes. And Alana has a problem with her.
Well, because you bring it up a lot.
I don't mind, babes. Have problems with whoever you want to, unless it's me or somebody I like.
Oh.
Well, good, babes.
So it's possible that this may go off pretty well because I already talked to two of my good friends and they seem very interested, especially the one that you met today.
Yeah. And he seemed like a cool dude.
He is. Very nice guy.
Nice. Funny,
witty, nice guy.
Do we want to talk about chicken now or save that for tomorrow? Dinner now. We had chicken for dinner.
We can talk about that tomorrow, and as well as talk about what we're going to make tomorrow too.
Yes.
Because we got an interesting thing to do. We're going to work with beef tomorrow.
Yeah. I got plenty of beef, so I've been working with it.
Oh my goodness! Well, keep your pork somewhere else.
Oh my goodness!
If you know what I mean. Keep it in there.
Well, I love you, babes.
Keep it in the casing.
Okay, babes. What else? Well, good.
Yeah.
Babes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
I'll just say this. I had my midterm check-in because I'm taking a bunch of classes this term. And we used up the 30 minutes and it went really well. I heard of, it was more 30 minutes of encouragement. I didn't sound like, what I heard didn't sound like any discouragement from teachers. It was very encouraging.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe people just like to be encouraging. And it's not how they really feel. Who knows? But I'm glad you experienced that, babes.
No, it was supposed to be encouragement and just check in with them. What would I need next term?
Nice.
Yeah.
I read some books, but we can get into that tomorrow. Maybe we should wrap it up now.
Yes.
Unless you had any dreams that you want to discuss this week.
No, I don't have any.
Oh, give me a kiss.
Okay.
Oh, so we say that you brought back the Southern Man today?
No.
We don't need to go.
I do want to mention one more thing.
Quickly?
It's going to be quick. I've got a thumb drive complete with pictures and video of my experience at the challenge course. So I'm really excited to share that with you.
Nice. I'm excited to receive that there, Jaylo.
I'm going to take some time and look at it on my laptop, just because I think it would be so cool.
Very cool, babes.
Yes.
All right, Jaylo, anything else?
No.
All right, give me a kiss.
Okay. And I may give it to you. I may give you the drive this weekend. I don't know.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
I love you.
I love you too.
Hey.
Call Girls for Christ.
No, that's not true.
You thought was funny, even though you didn't want to because you did laugh.
I didn't know what to do.
You were on my lap, but your mom doesn't listen to this. So we're not going to say what else may or may not have gone on. But you did lie about it, but you have asked for forgiveness. And God willing, Jesus will forgive you for that. We still don't like Mitt Romney, but he's better than George Santos. Neither one of us likes Joe Biden, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
Some people don't know who Smokey Robinson is. And I think that's a pretty good recap of it.
Yeah, it is. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you, babes.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.